All right, so hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to take a close look at someone I bet most of you know at least a little bit about.
And probably even use their company services without even realizing it,
That's very possible, yeah.
especially if you're an online shopper like me.
Guilty as charged.
Haha. But yeah, so today we're talking about the one and only Jack Ma,
Founder of Alibaba.
and truly a fascinating figure in the world of global business. His story is really like something out of a movie.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a guy who went from being a humble English teacher,
Can you imagine?
I know, right? And he somehow built a massive e-commerce empire. Talk about a career change.
Totally. And his story is full of, like, I don't know, incredible resilience, big dreams, overcoming some serious obstacles.
That's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
We're going to dive deep into how he did it, what lessons we can learn.
And I think it's particularly interesting to look at him through the lens of what was happening in China back then.
Oh, absolutely. You can't separate Jack Ma's story from the economic context of China in the 90s.
Right. Like, picture this. It's the 90s.
China's economy is just starting to really open up.
And here's Jack Ma. Not a tech expert or anything.
No, just an English teacher with a wild idea.
And let's be honest, his early years were marked by a whole lot of setbacks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the guy failed his college entrance exams, like, multiple times.
Seriously. I didn't know it's that many.
Oh, yeah. He had a tough time landing a job.
And get this, he even got rejected by KFC.
Can you believe that? Like, who rejects Jack Ma?
It's almost hard to fathom looking at where he is now.
You can't help but wonder what they're thinking now.
Right. But you know what's remarkable to me is that those early rejections, those struggles,
They seem to fuel his determination.
totally, almost like they lit a fire under him.
That grit that he developed in those early years.
I think that was absolutely key to his success.
Absolutely.
And then boom, this pivotal moment happens.
You're talking about his trip to the U.S.
Yeah, in the late 90s.
Right when the internet was just taking off.
He sees the power of the internet firsthand.
And something clicks, right? He has this epiphany.
This vision of bringing e-commerce to China, of connecting Chinese businesses to the world.
But let's not forget, the internet in China back then.
It was a whole different beast.
Absolutely. Very limited access, a lot of unknowns.
It was a huge risk, a huge gamble.
Yet he goes for it anyway.
And that's how Alibaba was born.
Right there, out of his apartment.
Talk about humble beginnings.
It's incredible when you think about it.
Just a guy with a computer.
And a vision.
And this unwavering belief in the potential of e-commerce in China.
And the thing is, he wasn't just chasing profits.
Well, what do you mean?
He genuinely wanted to help small businesses in China.
I see. To give them a platform.
To compete on a global scale.
And that resonated with people.
Oh, absolutely.
And then Alibaba just explodes.
Takes off like a rocket.
Competing with established giants like Amazon and eBay.
And eventually even surpassing them in some ways.
It's a remarkable success story, any way you slice it.
And I think a lot of factors contributed to their success.
Yeah, like what stands out to you?
Well, Jack Ma's leadership, for one. He had this incredible charisma, this ability to inspire.
Yeah, he was really seen as a visionary leader.
Exactly. People believed in him and his vision, and he fostered this culture of innovation within the company.
He always pushing the boundaries.
Exactly. And let's not forget his deep understanding of the Chinese market.
Right, like what do they need, what do they want?
Exactly. And he tailored the business model to fit those needs perfectly.
Alipay is a perfect example of that.
You're right. At the time, one of the biggest barriers to e-commerce in China was trust.
Trust in online payments.
Exactly. People were hesitant to put their financial information online.
So what did Jack Ma do? He created Alipay.
A secure and reliable payment system.
It was a game changer.
It built trust between buyers and sellers.
And it paved the way for the massive growth of online transactions in China.
Absolutely. It was a stroke of genius.
But of course, it wasn't all smooth sailing.
No success story ever is, right?
They faced some serious challenges along the way.
Especially navigating China's evolving regulations.
Oh yeah, the government scrutiny was intense.
Remember, operating within China's political and economic framework.
This is a whole different ballgame.
Data privacy, cybersecurity, you name it. They had to be constantly adapting.
To stay ahead of the curve.
And then, in 2019,
Jack Ma drops a bombshell.
he steps down as chairman.
It took everyone by surprise.
But when you look at it strategically,
It kind of makes sense.
Alibaba was already this massive, established company
Maybe he felt it was time for a new generation of leadership.
to take the reins.
But what's interesting is, even after he stepped down,
The scrutiny from the Chinese government didn't stop.
It actually intensified,
Yeah, they really kept a close eye on his businesses.
influencing their direction, setting limits.
It just highlights the really complex relationship between big tech and the state in China.
A dynamic that we don't really see in the West.
It's a whole different set of rules.
So at the end of the day, what's Jack Ma's legacy?
I think it's multifaceted.
Yeah, I can see that.
Obviously, he completely revolutionized e-commerce in China.
No one can take that away from him.
He created this massive online marketplace, connecting businesses and consumers on a scale that was unimaginable before.
But I think his impact goes even beyond that,
Oh, absolutely. He inspired a whole generation of entrepreneurs in China and around the world.
showing them what's possible.
That you can come from humble beginnings and build something truly extraordinary.
His story is a testament to the power of persistence.
Of having a vision and relentlessly pursuing it.
It's a reminder that even in the face of failure,
You can't give up.
you have to keep pushing forward.
Adapting, innovating, overcoming those obstacles.
And so for all of you listening out there,
I think the question to ask yourselves is,
if Jack Ma could build a global empire from his apartment,
what seemingly impossible dream might you be able to achieve?
what's that one crazy idea you've been holding back on?
Maybe it's time to dust it off.
And take that leap of faith.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the next Jack Ma.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time.
Take care, everyone.